Right, and we are live.
All right. Well, I'll let you introduce the show, sir.
All right, everybody. For the first time in 3 years, this is Wraith and Brandon back with Metal Truthers.
Yes, very much so. Back in action.
It's been a while.
You want an update? How are and like what's been going on? I mean, 3 years is a long time, bro.
Hell yeah, it is. A little bit too long, in my opinion.
Yeah. I went through quite a depression for a minute there. That's why I stopped doing like my videos for Metal Truthers in general, and I just lost the urge. Like there was just so much shit going on constantly. Like I couldn't keep up with the news anymore, and like the shit I deal with in my daily life was just I couldn't even like focus on the idea of trying to make a video or talk to anybody about anything because I didn't give a fuck at that point. I didn't care if the world ended tomorrow. It was just didn't, and I'm still kind of in that mode, but I get my first therapy session tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes.
Oh, good.
Yep. And then Wednesday, I'm gonna go up to the college and talk to them about getting into school and shit, trying to get some sort of trade going. But yeah, hopefully we can get this show up and monetized now that after 10 years, now bring a little bit of income from dad, and that luckily I'm used to this position. Like, from what I'm seeing, on in the episode, of course, but we've been hearing a lot about lockdowns and stuff again.
Yeah, it was announced Friday that they were planning on rolling out the mask mandates and the lockdowns and all that shit again, starting about mid-September.
That or October is what the general gist is, from what I can understand. But we'll get into that a little bit later on. I mean, we've kind of got a list of things. We're going to talk about our, our opinion on the probability and where we are as far as World War III would be concerned. Then we're going to get into what we feel about the situation going on, and after that, we'll get into talking about COVID again and the likelihood that that's going to rear its ugly head once more. And, we'll just get into all that as we go. I'm kind of looking forward to it. Y'all will hear me positive of my youngest one in the shower because, that's just how it is. When you got kids, your free time is very fucking limited.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to try and keep the language limited, but of course, this is Metal Truthers, and I'm not going to stray from who we've always been. Like, I tend to say a lot of cuss words. Of course, Brandon's going to edit some for when we put this on stream.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
But otherwise, I'm ready to get into the topics whenever you are, unless you want to give people like a little summary of what you've been up to.
Most of my time is just went to working all the time and seeing my kids when I can.
Yeah, I have mine pretty much every day. It's very rare that I don't have my kids. I mean, I don't always have all three of them, but I've always got at least one.
Honestly, I wish I could say the same.
Shit. I'm not gonna lie, there are days where it's a little overwhelming, but at the same time, like, I'd rather be doing this than some of the other things I could be doing with my life.
Yeah, but I mean, at least you get to spend time with your kids, I mean, that's always a plus.
To an extent, they don't appreciate it quite as much, but they're still growing up. My daughter's turning this next year. My middle son will be 10, and my youngest one will be 7. So, and then my oldest son in Memphis, he'll be 17 this next year. So it's It's good. Time's fine, man. Like, it's been a pretty big, just a crazy, weird situation for the past, what, 3, 4 years, ever since COVID. Like, as much as I hate to admit it, COVID kind of changed the world and the way we interact with it.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, you know.
Well, I guess to start off, we'll just go ahead and kick off then. One of the first subjects, of course, we were going to talk about is the probabilities of World War III, how we could see it popping off at this point, and like what the implications are from what we've been seeing and hearing. And I mean, I'll let you go and start unless you want me to just jump into it. It's up to you.
Yeah, go ahead and start it off. You've had more time to study into it than I have.
All right. Well, I mean, from what I can gather, just my basic gist of seeing what's going on right now is we're definitely NATO's pushing buttons, we're interfering and shouldn't be interfering, and like always, I mean, now the stakes are a little bit higher. I mean, a lot of people are scared of nuclear war right now, which I kind of think I think that's a misdirection, to be quite. I don't think we need to be worried about World War III as far as that goes. I think the more probable thing that we should be scared of is the idea of like EMP systems. We don't need to worry about like the rod of God from China. It's more or less an EMP system would take America down in a matter of hours.
Oh yeah, EMP would pretty much be the end of our power grid. All of our pretty much all of our IT systems, our internet would go down. Our power grid would be just fried instantly.
Yeah. So I mean, and then I mean, there could be a very quick. I mean, I don't know about the idea of like a bunch of kids having to go to war like we did back in World War II, because like the people's big fears are, which I grant, like I'm not saying it's an unproductive fear or something. Like I understand the concept of why people would be afraid of that, but from what I'm seeing and hearing, like a lot of these and a lot of other militaries now are looking into unarmed combat, drones and robots for the most part, and that's, to me, that should be more worrying than anything. But like nonetheless, I mean, that means that the like death toll, as far as like you're going to see your neighbor's kids coming home in a body bag like we did in World War II. I don't think we're going to have to see necessarily that aspect of it again. You know what I mean? I mean, it could be a war, but I mean, like that, I mean, boots on the ground type shit. But I really don't see too many countries like invade America, number one. Like, if you tried to touch boots down on the ground on the soil here, you'd be fucking insane.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's the one thing about the American continent. Like when we set up to be, and we made it almost impossible for anyone to challenge us because of where we are geographically. We're set up to be able to defend our country very fucking well without any kind of like real complications. I'm not saying America's perfect by any. Are pretty well set up where we're at. Like we are in a very highly defensible place. Like strategically, we've got less threats on us than most. We don't really have to worry about Canada as much. Like they're not really a threat. And then when it comes to Mexico, I mean, if our actually deployed the military, that would be a no-go as far as the border goes. So that's a non-threat right there. You know what I mean? But of course, that requires our military to quit being fucking retarded. Excuse the words, but like our government is just pissing me off. They're ignoring the border crisis at every chance they get. Meanwhile, we're sending money to Ukraine, and we've got sex operations happening all over the country and shit. And like nobody sees a problem with this shit except for me, apparently, which is fucking highly frustrating, you know?
It is.
Like, you know, we've got a country that just, well, not a country. We just had fucking almost annihilated by fire. And we aren't sending them any money because, Ukraine's more important for some fucking reason.
I think honestly at this point, the U.S. is kind of
I'm not saying
using.
I don't feel bad for the Ukrainians, okay? Saying that,
Of
don't
course.
anybody misconstrue that. It's not that I don't feel bad for what they're dealing with. Like, y'all were the ones who have been pushing up to NATO for so long. Y'all having regimes rolling around your country and shit. Like, you fucking had to know at some point, like, Russia was gonna come for y'all. And it's like, Ukraine is not a NATO ally. They're not part of NATO, and they shouldn't be part of NATO, because if they become part of NATO, I'm not gonna lie, that I don't know if you've ever played Risk before, but we'll be cutting off pretty much everywhere that borders Russia. Like, they've got two allies, and half of their allies in that area are with us to an extent when it comes to trade. So, I mean, we if we can get Ukraine to join, we've got Russia by the balls. So what they're doing right now is, unfortunately, it's understandable. Feelings aside, and look at things from an actual geopolitical standpoint, and look at things as how would a leader look at the situation. If you're coming there and you knew the NATO style towards you has been since, you know what I mean? I mean, we've all pretty much been at Russia because they were the only challenge us as a superpower. I mean, back then China wasn't a threat at all, so it was just, you know what I mean? We've always been after Russia. We've always had in the press and on the world stage. And I mean, I guess we could also say that Putin's finally going, you know what, if y'all want to all the time, I'll show you a.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it's going. And plus, like you was saying, the United States
misinformation. I think it was the day before yesterday where some bitch was on one of those major news networks. I forgot if she was a politician or just a journalist. But she was out there saying that Putin had basically come out and openly said that once he was done with Ukraine, he was coming, which I know for a fact that that's straight up bullshit. Putin's never said that. I mean, he did tell us that if we don't stop our bullshit, he's going to shut down our. But I mean, he's not, and that's the thing. Everybody kind of missed that. I think it was just yesterday or today where Putin and states back the fuck down, or I'm gonna EMP you motherfuckers. Nuke us. He threatened to EMP strike us, which again, far worse than a nuke. I mean, a nuke.
I haven't
what?
heard
You hit one major city, you'll affect New York. You'll affect San Francisco, something like that. It affect one little tiny spot, but if you were to fucking EMP just above America and collapse the grid,
that's going to be countrywide.
And I mean, that's going to take generations to repair. It's going to take years. It's not going to be something we can just repair overnight. It's going to take long. It's not going to be fucking pretty.
Not at all.
That's why I'm highly frustrated that America keeps putting its fucking nose in everyone else's business constantly, because this is how you end up with world level threats. If we lose our grid, we're no longer a major the world stage at all, because without electricity, America a technological giant, and the minute that stops, we're as good as fucking done. You can call that, whatever you want to, cynical or whatever, but that's the truth. If America the minute we lose our grid, we're done. That's it. America's fucking over. Might as well go ahead and just hand China the keys to the White House, because they're gonna come for
it. Yeah, and I mean, I just looked it up on Google, and there's tons of news articles saying just how much of a threat an EMP would be towards the U.S. Here, I'll pull one up real quick and share it.
Just read it out to people. I mean, because some people may think we're just talking out of our asses or trying to fearmonger. And, you know, we used to get comments like that all the time back on the old channel. Oh, y'all are just trying to scare people. You're fearmongering. No, we're trying to wake people the fuck up so that, like, when shit hits the fan, you're not caught with your pants down. Part of phrasing there, but, like, that's literally the goal of it, is to keep people from being caught so unaware that when shit hits the fan and you can't go to the local grocery store to get your food, you can't go to the grocery store to get your water, you know?
Right. All right, here's one from Forbes I'm about to share to the stream. Let me pull this up real quick, and there we go. As you can all see right there, I'm going to highlight it. The possibility of such an attack is growing as EMP technology is evolving. The Commission to Assess the Threat to the U.S. from EMP Attacks alongside military officials warned years ago of the possibility of balloon-based EMP attacks. And keep in mind, it was just a few months ago that we shot down a Chinese hot air balloon with some kind of technology attached to it.
And then, like, notice, one thing I've noticed is that all this stuff's going down. Like, everything in the mainstream news has become nothing but UFOs this, UFOs that. Like, look over here, but don't look over there right now, because, like, you don't want going on kind of shit. And it's so fucking frustrating because, like, there's been, for years now, we've talked about it. Like, we would love for, like, extraterrestrials to be a fucking thing. Like, and, you know, it is what it is. Like, I don't really care about extraterrestrials, though, right now, when there's more, like, when there's world-ending shit that could happen at any moment. Like even have them try and talk about Yellowstone, because I don't think they tell us the truth anymore. The truth about Ukraine, truth about Afghanistan, and why Biden just decided to go and fuck that shit up.
Honestly, at this point, the mainstream media, I think they're being basically just used as pawns to keep a mass panic event from happening. Like, they're just pretty much telling the general public what they want to hear to, you know, kind of keep everybody complacent instead of getting everybody in an uproar.
I mean, I would love to believe that if it weren't for the fact that the mainstream media is so fucking retarded. I think like that. I don't think they have the mainstream public, like, in heart. Like, even if, like, say aliens were real, let's just give them the benefit of the doubt that they're not completely, like, bullshitting us right now, right? Let's just, like, say aliens fucking exist and they've decided to come to Earth for some fucking retarded reason, and about it the whole fucking time, just like the whole, like, syphilis experiments and shit. Like, there's things that our government knows that they just keep bullshitting about, and we just accept that shit because we have to. But now, like, my question is that, like, they're gonna tell us the truth about aliens. Like, what's really going on behind the scenes, like, right now that's, like, so important that y'all decided, like, something, like, true, if aliens are real, and this is something y'all have been covering up for so many years now, you know, trying to hide from us because, like, we can't handle the truth. You know what I mean? Like, if this is all true, then what's going on right now? Why, like, what is really going on behind the scenes that's made y'all so determined to have to hide everything from us? Like, we don't understand what's going on. You know what I mean?
Honestly, my question at this point is, what are they using the UFO hearings to cover up?
Probably shit about the Epstein. How many people are actively, like, calling for, like, they want to see those files now. Like, there are people all over the place that want the truth, and, like, they're not backing down from it. Like, they want the truth, and they're not going to stop until they shit. You know what I mean?
No, they're
and
not.
You've got normal everyday people asking for the list of people that went to Pedo Island. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and nobody's putting it out there. I mean, there's been a couple of hackers that's recovered some things from it, but
that was immediately shut down by the mainstream media, and it was called a hoax. So,
Yeah. Which
I mean,
everything from the underground like that comes out is at this point pretty much immediately shut down and called a hoax by the mainstream because
they're
they
fucking QAnon. Like, I hate to say it, a lot of people might hate me for saying this in a minute, like, once I'm done saying what I say, but it's QAnon's fault. Like, I'm not trying to, like, get that, super hacker community against us, but, like, they've allowed a lot of on there, and they've allowed a lot of bullshit to come through their ranks. They've allowed a lot of just shit that's damaged the truth, filtered out through their shit, called truth by this like super organization or whatever, and it is completely like taking the fire out from a movement that was starting to get a hold of people. Like, we were actually starting to reach people, and now like there's a lot of people that don't know whether to believe in these lists that there's. What if it's a QAnon hoax again? You know what I mean? So then nobody wants to believe the documents that they're seeing out there right now. They don't, like, it's the truth. Like, those are the people that we need to be talking to. Like, what happened on that island and shit like that. But no, we can't talk to those people now because nobody's going to believe them when they do talk.
exactly. Honestly, like QAnon had a really good purpose when they first started, but at this point, I believe they've been taken over by, if nobody else, NWO pawns.
All right, that's if they weren't on the beginning. And like, I mean, you know how I feel about Alex Jones at this point. Like, yes, he started, maybe he broke free from that matrix a little bit, but I've always said he was somewhat controlled opposition. He had to have been from what he is, because there's no way this man has all this access to all these secret files and this information that no one else has all the fucking time. And he's always right, and yet gay frogs. I mean,
I specifically remember when he, like, I don't remember the exact date or nothing, but I remember when he first broke the atrazine in the water supply, turning the frogs gay. I remember
yeah,
we did a special episode
too,
on
but
it
like the
right
reality,
after.
just
Or,
clinically speaking, that's one of the least like worrisome things that's going on right now. You know what I mean? Because he focused on that shit, like, and the way he like just Alex Jones, it didn't take him seriously, and now none of the actual like so-called truthers are taking him serious. And then that court thing didn't help any when he got up there and was like, "I'm playing a role." I understand you have to say what you have to say to like save your family and everything, but
I mean,
you made it really hard for everyone to believe you now. Like, I mean, he kind of damaged his fucking reputation and made it seem like he's just a snake oil salesman that's out there trying to promote his, like, you know, super special male supplement harder than a rhino's horn. You know what I mean? Or whatever the fuck he sells.
well, I mean, I will say that I have tried a couple of his supplements off of his website, and that shit really does work. Like,
I mean, I like Alex Jones. Okay, I'm not saying I don't like him. He has information. He's good at what he does. In fact, he's one of the main reasons we started doing this channel, because we wanted like us to pick up and talk about shit ourselves. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I feel like at some point he sold out to the money. And I'm not trying to be mean with all the respect in the world for the man. Like, he's done shit that I only wish we could do as a channel. You know what I mean? But like,
oh yeah, most definitely. Same
my
here.
opinions are still valid. There's, and I like, as much as I like hope that Alex Jones is one of the good guys, like, there's a large possibility he's not. He's been
I
planted
mean,
there to
yeah,
keep everybody off.
you know, and it's not hard to say that, especially after watching some of our other heroes go the exact same way.
Like Joe Rogan, used to love watching Joe Rogan. And it was like the minute he went to Spotify, his guests changed, his energy changed. Now, he is starting to wake up more, and it seems like he may be even slightly becoming conservative. But just once he went to Spotify, it seemed like the whole Joe Rogan being what Joe Rogan was, and to avoid certain words and certain topics, you know, like it's not Joe Rogan anymore. So it's not the same thing now.
Yeah, but I mean, you have to do what you have to do. You have to do what you have
Bro,
to do. To
like
stay
if
on
we
the road.
ever get this channel big enough to where we have guests and shit, like I'm not changing shit for nobody. Like if they come on, we're not gonna like censor the entire show. Like you're allowed to speak freely. Like the whole point of this channel, and even if we have to Rumble because YouTube becomes like we can't, say right there might be enough to like cause the YouTube to get like demonetized. Like if they keep playing that game, then like I said, we'll go where it's still allowed.
Right. Which is why I really want to get a bigger following on Rumble, and I would eventually like to just kind of leave YouTube in the dust.
Well, of that, let's go ahead and make a quick plug for that. Metal Truthers is now on Rumble. I think. Well, this isn't. Is this not this? Be YouTube, right?
Say that again. You cut out a little bit.
I said this one's just being streamed to YouTube, right?
Yeah, tonight it is.
Okay.
We've got to get a few more followers on Rumble before it'll let us live stream, unfortunately.
Well, if y'all can, go over to Rumble tonight and subscribe to the Rumble channel, and that way we can start live streaming onto Rumble. We'll make a few more videos, I guess. Like tomorrow, we'll do something that goes. Just record a couple of videos or something, get them up. But like, let's go over to Rumble, Truthers, same channel, and we'll start. We're gonna try and do Rumble a little bit more. But yeah, I guess back on the like other topics and shit. Another thing that like we've been trying to remind people of is what I talked to you about. Is the fact that with if we were to go into an actual declared war at this point, like it has to be a declared war.
I'm gonna take my SIM card. I'll be right here.
Okay. Just whenever you're done, hand it back.
Yeah.
There's a fucking clause in our Constitution that allows them to suspend elections when a true war has been declared, meaning like they can push right now and these elections won't happen. The Democrats, because Biden's so old, like I wouldn't be surprised if, God forbid, the man passed while he's in office. The Democrats would still hold power, so they would just put another one of their lackeys in there. And right now, it seems like the Democrats are just war hungry. Like that's all. Even during the debates the other night, like the Republicans are talking about fixing the country crisis, this, that, and the other, and every Democrat seemed to be talking about going to war with Ukraine because we have to support this country that most people can't find on a map.
Yeah, I've really noticed that as well.
And it's odd to me because I remember not that long in the distant past, like, fuck, when I was a kid, I remember, like, right as 9/11 was kicking off, but even before then, Storm and shit, it was the war hawks. It was the Republicans out there that were pushing so hard for us to go to the Middle East and try and turn a bunch of sand to glass, you know?
Yeah, pretty much. And now all of a sudden, the Republicans are the ones that's like, hey, let's back down here. Let's, take a step back and look at what's really going on.
I guess that'll bring us to another topic. Well, sort of another topic, but transit, all of this kind of bleeds together. So, like, I know you've been keeping up with what they're trying to do to Trump and what they're accomplishing, which right now it seems like the Democrats are just trying to take out anybody and everybody that's opposition. And I don't care what anyone says. Like, to me, these charges against Trump are fucking bullshit. Like, just because he questioned the election, they're trying to claim it's interference. It was interference changing the fucking laws right as people started to vote and having illegal and like invalid ballots all over the place. Places like California, which is now a sanctuary state, allowed illegal immigrants to vote in the election, people that are not citizens of this country. That's a fucking problem. Arizona had irregularities. Georgia had irregularities. That's what they weren't saying the whole election was stolen. Trump didn't tell them to manufacture votes for him. He said find the ones that have been stolen because there were people that had witnessed taking boxes of ballots and getting rid of them.
Yeah, and I mean that
Now,
somehow
what with
that
Trump,
led to our
which was
current
even
president.
stupider, was when they went after him about the documents, talking about, oh, these. Well, number one, you don't know which documents are highly classified, which ones aren't. Number two, when it comes to those documents, then if we're going to charge Trump for any of that shit, then Biden has to be charged for all of his illegal activities, and that man has top secret documents just chilling in his fucking bathtub at his house. You feel what I'm saying? He had an unsecured garage on his regular home property full of just good, like, documents, government documents. Nobody knows how many of them are classified. Nobody knows how many are declassified. Let's talk about Obama and his bombing of American citizens. Completely unconstitutional. He killed citizens in trial. Why can't we charge him? Let's talk. I mean, there's a lot of people we can talk about if they really want to go down this, and that's the scariest thing about this whole fucking elections this year. Okay, fuck the AI deepfakes, which are terrifying on their own rights, because if you look at the implications of that, horrible ramifications for our future. But besides that, if you get past the deepfakes, you get past the war, you get past all the bullshit, the next 4 years, no matter who gets in office, it's going to be one side targeting another side. It's going to lead to civil war. I don't care what anyone says. Yeah, time from people like Tim Pool and fucking Steve and everybody else. Well, maybe y'all should start fucking listening, because this is how you get a civil war. People seem to realize civil war doesn't mean a bunch of fucking rednecks start storming the north. Like that's not what's going to happen. It's going to be a bunch of fucking insane left, and it's going to end fucking horribly. It's going to be a lot of Republicans versus Democrats, because now everyone's choosing it. And if Democrats get in office, they're going to target the Republicans and try to them up as possible. Anyone that made a positive tweet about Trump, anyone that donated to him, they're going to come for you. They just went after his illegal on its own. Okay, so believe what you want. They won't come for you, all right? You can tell you fucking day long. But if the Republicans get in office, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be revenge. If Trump gets in office, he's not going to be focusing on bettering the country. I mean, granted, yes, it will better the country to lock these snakes the fuck up. But that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a revenge fucking 4 years. It's not going to be 4 years of trying to make America the best nation it can be.
Yeah, and I mean, going by what the AP says, there was 18 full indictments. I'm going to pull that up here in just a second.
And I believe a few of them were felonious, right? Like, or did they drop all the felony charges and just went after him for misdemeanors?
Honestly, not 100% sure. Nobody's really being open about what exactly they've been charged with and what they've, what.
They can't charge him with anything. Like, they want to, believe me, they really, really want to, but they cannot charge him with anything. Y'all have to forgive the sound here, my child, real quick.
Now, something I do have pulled up that I'm going to screen share real quick is the full indictment. As it is signed by the Fulton County, Georgia Superior Court, I actually do have the PDF of the indictment pulled up right now. So give me just a second, and I'm going to actually share that on the screen. And there it is. And here's all the names of the people that was indicted.
Like I said, it's all his legal aid. It's anybody that supported him financially, like as far as major, like people that when they let's see that they got indicted, it's going to send fear in both the legal, the fucking charity complexes, fucking anything that may have been like monetarily would have been donating to Trump's campaign this year. It's going to scare everyone that was willing to support him, except for Vivek Ramaswamy. That motherfucker's actually pretty cool. I like him.
Yeah, I do too. I was actually watching a YouTube video of him earlier talking about all of this and how he doesn't agree with any of it. Like, he pretty much straight up said that he stands behind Donald Trump on this, which to me is amazing. But I'm going to read off the names. I'm going to read off all 19 names that was indicted and booked into the jail.
Go right ahead, man.
All right. According to the indictment that I have pulled up on screen here, the state of Georgia versus Donald John Trump, Rudolph William Louis Giuliani, John Charles Eastman, Mark Randall Meadows, Kenneth John Chesborough, Jeffrey Bossert Clark, Jenna Lynn Ellis, Ray Stallings Smith III, Robert
Did you
David
say Ray
Lee-
Stallings?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Okay, keep going.
Robert David Cheeley, Michael A. Roman. I didn't think they could abbreviate names like that on an indictment.
So he may just have a letter for his middle fucking name.
That's possible.
I mean, you know, technically, like by law, you don't have to like fucking put in, make your like first, middle, and last name one letter long, and they can't say anything about it.
Okay. All right. So David James Schaefer, Sean Micah Treasure Steele, Stephen Clifford Lee, Harrison William Prescott Floyd, Trevion C. Cuddy, Sydney Catherine Powell, Kathleen Alston Latham, Scott Graham Hall, Misty Hampton, also known as Emily Misty Hayes.
And then also, the tit for tat's already starting because while those indictments, now you've got Republicans on some investigations into the Georgia, like legal commissions and shit.
Absolutely. And honestly, I think that is beautiful.
Beautiful,
Like,
but terrifying, my nigga. Because
Yes.
here's the reality. Because, like, when you get to the nitty gritty of it, when you get brass tacks of every fucking thing, it's not going to be the rich people in Washington that suffer through this revolt. It's going to be the motherfuckers that I grew up with in the hood. It's going to be the people that are already struggling to eat every fucking day of the week. It's going to become even harder. The Republicans and the Democrats start going to war with each other. Then they're going to start going to war with each other on like just a simple level, a level of, oh, well, you want groceries from this. Now I'm going to completely fuck that up and we're not going to allow to tax them or we're going to put regulations on this and that. And it becomes a situation to make it to the grocery stores. Fucking medicine doesn't make it to where it's supposed to go because the Republicans and Democrats are going to be acting like a bunch of spoiled children going, no, it's my toy. I mean, I know that sounds kind of conceited, like the way it's really going to be. Like, it's going to be Republicans and Democrats, people like Vivek or Trump or, you know, even if there's decent Democrats, like, they're going to get sucked into it. There is no escaping it in the long run. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And honestly, you was talking about there being some felony indictments. It looks, from what I'm seeing on this indictment, it looks like the majority of them are gonna be felonies, like violation of the Georgia RICO Act, racketeer influence, and corrupt organizations.
Yeah, see that, and that the thing is like if we're gonna do that, then like I know people hate hearing it, but I'd really like to. Gonna say like we're not gonna bring back the days of metal truthers. We should look into the Soros Foundation. You know what I mean? The Clinton Foundation. I'm pretty sure we can dig up revolve around Haiti, where they did some very criminal things with money that was supposed to go to saving people's lives that never made it. So, like, if they really want to get on racketeering and shit, then the Democrats are guiltier than anyone else. In fact, Biden is extreme racketeering at this moment in time.
Yeah,
By
especially with
definition,
Hunter.
with Ukraine and the dealings over there and the dealings with China, especially with his son, like that is racketeering. What about the Clinton Mafia? People forget about that. It's a legitimate thing. Go look it up. It's fucking Arkansas tradition. Everyone knows about the Clinton Mafia, and they're right next door to me, so I've heard about it. What's funny is I basically moved from one next door neighbor to the other next door neighbor. Like, I used to live in Memphis, now I live in Texas, and both of us border Arkansas no matter which way it goes.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's very it's very up in the air right now on how this shit. I mean, and we're in a very dangerous spot, like financially.
And number 2 on the indictment is one that really stands out to me: solicitation of violation of oath by a public officer.
Well, they did that to his attorneys just for like basically telling his attorney, hey, if you don't flip sides and tell us all this confidential information that was between you and fucking Trump, then like, isn't that a violation by constitutional law? You can't make a legal representation speak on anything. It's like it's like going to a therapist and telling them something, and then the courts force them without like reason to just confess everything that was supposed to be confidential. That is against your constitutional rights. They can't do that.
Okay, now let's call out number 7 and 8. Number 7, false statements and writings. And number 8, impersonating a public officer. How do they have any legal grounds for either one of those?
It depends on who they're trying to say was impersonating a public officer, which I don't understand who that would be, because if they're trying to charge Trump himself with that, that's impossible. He was the sitting president. He challenged the elections while Biden hadn't been sworn in yet. And yes, they kept, like, even after he'd been sworn in, he never wrote anything saying that there was actual, like, allegations. He's always said that he, like, believes that there was. It's not saying that.
So they didn't directly charge Trump with impersonation of a public officer, but they got him with conspiracy to commit impersonating a public officer. So basically they're saying he planned on doing it but never actually did it.
Yeah, but see, that none of that should be able to hold water, and I don't think it will. That's why he would it out. Like, if they were serious, he wouldn't have had a bond. He wouldn't have been able to get out. Like, that's what I mean, this shit's getting stupid. And, like, I'm tired of them talking about January 6th and everything they bring up. Like, what about the Summer of Love is 2020 when the fucking BLM decided half the country needed to be burned down at any major city they could find, and that, like, nothing to do with anything were being beaten up on the streets. Asians during COVID getting beat the fuck down constantly by Antifa activists and shit. And that none of that's considered insurrection. I mean, they tried to burn Washington to the ground the minute Trump got elected. Insurrection.
Yeah, and then we've got the whole January 6th bullshit where tons of people are being charged and nothing was really destroyed. I mean, yeah, they made their way inside, but the only person
they
that got
were
killed
inside. That's the thing. The only time that they're only on one other was there any kind of barricades that were torn down, and then those were torn down by fucking FBI. They've had to admit that there were FBI plants in the crowd, like there were government officials involved in that whole situation that went down. Like, it wasn't as grassroots as they made it seem.
No, it wasn't.
And I mean, now there's a lot of truth coming out about the whole January 6th thing that's making the government look really fucking bad. But only if you're actually paying attention. Like, if you're believing the government bullshit, like eating everybody, like on MSN and like all that good shit, like, then yeah, you're definitely like, you're fucking you're gone. Like, you've already lost the war. Like, you might as well just give up and flying spaghetti monster. It's like not trying to be religious.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. Like, there's been a lot of shit that I've seen lately that's made me question like the legitimacy of the Christian religion. Like, granted, I'm still a pagan because, like, no matter which way you slice it, the Bible does state that there are other gods. You're just not supposed to worship them before the one. But, like, that aside, like, there's a lot of shit that, like, I mean, say, like, I'm a non-Christian Christian because I don't like Jesus or the idea of the church or any of that, but I do believe that the moral codes and, like, I can understand, like, the whole not want, and I like, now, I'm like, when it comes down to that, I'm not against people being gay. I am against trying to, like, change kids into things that they're not just because you want the kids to fit along with your fucking agenda.
Oh yeah, same here. Like, do what you want, but leave the kids alone.
Okay, you can rinse it out. Cass, shut the fuck up. Sorry about that, everyone. I have a dog that's stupid. But anyway, like, when you get down to it, like, I mean, like, I'm not like one of those diehard Old Testament Christians that thinks that, like, everything's a sin, blah blah blah. But, like, when you start fucking with the kids, problem with that, and, like, they're not just fucking with kids now. They're trying to tell these kids that don't even know who the fuck they are to begin with. Like, they're trying to tell them, like, hey, you should live like this, or you should live like that. You should be this person or that person. And, like, I know from my own, me and my youngest son's mom had to sit my daughter down not that long ago and have her and explain to her exactly what gay is, because she thought she was gay and she's not gay. She likes boys, but she doesn't actually know what gay is. But it's everywhere. It's on TikTok. It's on fucking everything you watch, YouTube videos. And it's being shoved down people's throats. Now, I'm not like, it's the same, like, and they're saying, oh, shoved down your throat, then you're some sort of bigot. It's like, no, I don't have a problem with people being gay. I don't care if you're open about it or not, but you don't have to force everyone else to agree with your lifestyle. I love gay people. I don't love being gay. There's a difference there. You feel what I'm saying? Like, exactly. I have no problem breaking bread with any kind of gay person. I have no problem hanging out with you and your girlfriends or your boyfriends or whatever the fuck's going down. But that doesn't mean I want to, like, join in a fucking group orgy and have my dick sucked by, like, fucking Shrek over here. Like, that's not what the fuck we're doing. And I don't think that, like, anybody should be trying to introduce that shit to kids. I don't even think that you really understand who you are sexually until probably about the age of 21 or 22.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, I don't think people should be drinking before the age of 25. Now that I'm older and I've been down this road and shit, I don't think, like, we're mature enough to be drinking at any age or younger than 25. I think we should start smoking weed before kids do. Like, smoking cigarettes, legal in general.
I mean, at least there's some scientifically proven health benefits to marijuana.
Personally, I think they're on, like, fucking candy bars and shit. Like, you shouldn't be like, a 4-year-old shouldn't be able to walk into a gas station with a fucking, like, bill and just buy as many candy bars and junk as he wants, like, on his own, and nobody's gonna say shit about it because the kid's got money, you know?
Right.
And, like, a lot of people are like, oh, that sounds fascist. I'm not trying to say that I want to control everyone's lives or, like, there's a lot of shit that Americans do. Like, we take advantage of a great thing and we do it so much in excess that, like, kids are back talking their parents all the time now. Like, you've got fucking teenagers rebelling against the system by, like, changing their gender and becoming common. Like, I mean, none of it. And I don't like being that guy to, like, break everyone's bubble and everything, but, like, communism just doesn't fucking work. It's a great idea. It sounds beautiful. You know, when you hear people try to describe it in the way, you're like, sure, that sounds great. Why don't you just try anarchy? That might work out for you a little bit better, because communism is not going to work out once you get that one. maybe you might get the one communist leader that fucking actually goes for a couple of years with the idea of what communism is like, what everyone thinks it is, right? You might get that guy, and he may last for a little while, but there's going to be a power-hungry motherfucker standing right behind him that's going to slit his throat in his sleep one night, gain power to the fucking system, and like it's going to go right to what it's into.
Most definitely. Speaking of which, while I was at work the other day, I'm not really supposed to, but I had my headphones in, and I just happened to find an audiobook of the Communist Manifesto on YouTube. And if you've never read the Communist Manifesto and you're standing up for communism,
Be quiet.
I'm going to have to say at this point, you're just straight up a complete fucking idiot.
People don't want to read it because a lot of the times, like back in the day at least, when you were to read something like the Anarchist Cookbook, like you were put on a fucking list. But now, okay, Bruce, but now it's not quite like that anymore. You know what I mean? Like you can, I mean, the Anarchist Cookbook will probably still get you in some deep shit, but like, you know what I mean? Like when it comes down to everything else, like when it comes down to say just the most books, you could really get it. Like back in the day, would have had you on a fucking watch list.
Oh yeah, of course.
Sure, you could go to Amazon and buy Mein Kampf, and ain't shit gonna happen to you.
No, it's not, because I mean Mein Kampf. That's basically just Adolf Hitler recounting his struggle to gain power, and it's kind of laying out what he did once he got to power, what his plans were, and everything. It don't lay out like guidelines. It don't tell you how to manufacture IEDs and stuff like that, like the Anarchist Cookbook, and it don't lay out the core beliefs and the guidelines of a political party like the Communist Manifesto does.
Yeah, but nonetheless, like that used to get watch lists. I remember very distinctly there were certain things you weren't allowed to buy or read without it becoming a real big fucking issue.
Oh yeah, of course.
And that doesn't exist anymore unless you were to probably buy like Trump's autobiography or some shit.
Yeah, if you was to buy Trump's autobiography, I'm sure that would probably slap you at the top of the list right now.
Which is ridiculous on its own.
It is. That just goes to show the level that these people are willing to go to, especially the big dogs of the New World Order. Like, it just shows the lengths that they're willing to go to silence their opposition. And if you think they don't know that people are waking up in hordes, then got another thing coming. I mean, the New World Order full well knows.
These people are willing to go to any lengths at this point to get their point across and to get what they want, which what they want is total domination.
Well, yeah. And like they think they're getting it by pushing all this against Trump because he's really the only one. I will say Robert F. Kennedy Jr., like he's talking a very big game right now, and he's running for the Democrat Party, so props to him.
Yeah, but the problem is like they're not more to say, but he's going to end up the way of his uncle.
I honest to God,
they wouldn't even give him Secret Service detail to like that the legacy of the Kennedys so far. You know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, he's following right in line with them. He was there when JFK got shot.
Yeah, and he already knows what he's up against, but honestly, I don't think he's going to. Like, I wish he would. I love the guy. Smart things to say. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders, but the legacy of the Kennedys is to make sure that they can't make it into public office and do anything good.
I think it's because
they start trying to do something good, the system's going to come and eliminate them within hours. Stop it.
Most definitely. Absolutely.
But I mean, it's really hard to figure out what exactly is going on nowadays with the system because it's just broken beyond belief. I mean, like I said, everybody's still talking. I'm not even sure we're going to have an election.
Honestly, at this point, it's very iffy. It's extremely iffy at this point.
I mean, there's so many. Yeah, I mean, we got fucking one side. We've got that's basically trying to remove any decent Republican frontrunners from the fucking ballot in general. Like, if you were willing to challenge the system, they're making sure that they gamble right now, real quick, fast, and in a hurry, and you want them again.
Yeah,
and
they
they're
are.
Gonna make sure that nobody else is willing to.
But I mean, at the same time, with them doing that, with them silencing the opposition like they're doing, they're causing more people to wake up and see what's really going on behind the scenes than they are, getting people to bow down at their feet like what they want to happen. The more they come
that's a double-edged sword. Do you know what I mean? Because they're waking up within there that are refusing stuff, that are going further into the sleep mode so that they don't have to see what's going on.
Right.
And I mean, like I said, it's a very double-edged sword right now. Dealing with politically, economically, like everything, like the economy is just falling the fuck apart. And there's not anything that I see good from it,
Right.
Like, there's no easy for this. We've reached a political climate where there's not really going to be an easy way to all of this go away. You know what I mean?
Well, no, of course it's not just going to go away.
And I'm not sure that the climate, at least the economic climate, can even come back, to be honest, dude. We may be reaching the end of what we know is like our political climate today. We may be done with the economy for, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And I thoroughly believe that we are at that point. But with the amount of people that's starting to see behind the lines, that's just the people that's starting to stand up and say, we're not going to take this anymore.
Yeah, but the reality is, it could be very much be a situation of it's way too little, way too late. You know what I mean?
That is a possibility, but I do believe we still stand a fighting chance.
I would like to say we do, not to be pessimistic, but there's not enough people waiting. To be fair, the system has too much power now to be where, like, even if people do wake up, like, there's not much they can do against the system. Like, the system is prepped to destroy everything.
I don't know. I'm still hopeful about it.
I don't want to be, but I mean, they're pushing digital currency harder than they ever. Government's pushing it now. They're talking about COVID lockdowns will be the perfect time to implement. Like, well, since it's all no contact and blah blah blah, it's too dangerous to pay with cash now. Everybody's going to get this card from the government, and just because we're going to give it to you, and we know y'all need it, go lay down, Bruce. It's bedtime. Because y'all need assistance and stuff to make it through this hard time because so many people are about to be put out of work, blah, 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 blah. Here's this free government card that's going to give you $2,000 or $3,000 a month. If you have kids, $4,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how many people are going to take that card and accept that? And then all of a sudden, it's all over. You know what I mean?
Well, see, they're going to have to be extremely careful doing that because once they do that, it's going to devalue our currency so much that it'll be pretty much useless. You know, once they roll that out, our currency is going to be less valuable than the Mexican peso.
Those nations are pushing for, they're about to wipe our currency off the board.
Yeah, pretty much, especially with the BRICS nations going back to gold-backed currency. You know, that's another thing I wanted to call out. The BRICS nations are going back to a gold-backed currency, and that's going to pretty much kill ours. I do believe we lost him. Give me just a minute. I'm going to try to get him back on. He's been having some trouble with his stream software, so give me just a second. I got a couple of buttons to click, and hopefully we will be able to get him back in here. Just send this link to him. That is sent. Hopefully he will be back on in just a minute. But for anyone that hasn't been keeping up with it, the BRICS nations are going back to a gold-backed currency. Come on, buddy, get back in here. If y'all will give me just a second, I am trying to pull up. All right, we have an article here about the BRICS going back to the gold-backed currency. Give me just a second. He is back. Welcome back, sir.
Yeah, my router's all fucked off because of the heat wave. Where I'm at, they keep our routers in the hallway so that they are just exposed to the heat all day.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Anyway.
But while you were gone, I was starting to talk about the BRICS nations going back to the gold-backed currency and trying to. I pulled up an article about it. This is from Reuters. I'm going to start sharing that real quick. And what the implications of that are going to be to the U.S. August 23rd. Brazil's president called on Wednesday for the BRICS nations to create a common currency for trade and investment between each other as a means of reducing their vulnerability to dollar exchange rate fluctuations. So basically, what they're doing is going back to a gold-backed currency so they will have something to back their currency up, giving it legitimate worth instead of governments just being able to print pieces of paper and saying it's worth whatever it says on the paper. What do you think the implications against, say, the U.S. and multiple other nations who have no actual currency backing? What do you think those implications will be? If you can hear me. Fuck. I do believe we've just about lost him again. Shit. And we have lost him. I'm sure he'll be back in a minute. All right, this is a Reuters ad. It's saying that there is no idea of a BRICS currency. I'm just going to close this out because that is not the. We know for 100% sure that that is just a straight up in your face bullshit lie. They have openly said that they're going back to a gold backed currency. We know for a fact that they're going back to a gold backed currency. They've openly said it. And in all reality, that is just going to extremely devalue the US dollar. That's going to knock the US dollar out of its current standing as the most globally accepted form of currency. That's pretty much going to make US dollar worthless. It's looking grim. Again, I don't really have too awful much insight on that, unfortunately. I wish I did. Send him the link again. He is having some severe trouble with his internet. Let that send. All right, I'm out. Whenever he joins us, we'll get back to going. I apologize to anybody that's been in here listening. Unfortunately, this is one of those things that we just cannot control. I'm going to wait for a minute for him to get back in here. Device is not connected. All right, buddy, connect y'all stuff so we can get you back in here. Here we go. All right.
All right. Am I back?
Okay, good. Very much so. Loud and clear.
All right. Apologize for this inconvenience.
It happens. This heat wave has pretty much just come out of nowhere.
Fucking sucks. Suddenly got by a company Optimum, and they're Optimum.
You're really, really glitchy on that. Say it again.
Yeah, no, the internet keeps breaking in and out.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I mean, this matters a little bit during the rest of the show. For some reason, at nighttime, like it really, really starts fucking up.
Of course it does. Well, we'll be doing our live streams. We'll be doing our live streams during the day here soon. I'll be going to second shift at work.
After the first, my phone the best service I can get, so I'll have 5G and hotspot and everything else I need for a little bit, so I won't be worried about that.
All right, awesome.
But yeah, I guess I was hoping to be able to do a longer stream, but I'm afraid that it's gonna keep cutting soon because it's acting all fucky and shit now.
Yeah, of course it is.
If you want to, I mean, you can keep going over some articles and stuff after I do get disconnects once more. I'm probably just gonna like sign out for the night, and that means there's just too many people using it at once, I think. But We'll
I
go.
was, well,
Cuts me off again.
I was thinking we just go ahead and cut it right here since you're having issues with it.
All right, that works. Tomorrow, I want to definitely talk about like a little bit about North Korea, and we're going to talk more on like where we think the political climate is at the moment. But I
Oh yeah,
again apologize that the internet keeps making us cut things short and may it complicating the show. That's just kind of how we're going with what we've got right now until I can afford until we can get money coming in, we're kind of stuck with using the bare necessities. I mean, we do what we can with what we got.
yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. At least we were able to get the show.
I mean, to
started.
be honest, like my internet seems to be working pretty decent now again. So, I mean, we can go for a little bit longer. I said, if it just cuts out again, then I'll let you close off the show.
All right, that sounds good to me.
I mean, it's been so long since we've done one of these. I don't want it to just be like an hour long and have like at least a good 10, 15 minutes to figure out how the fuck to get me back online.
Yeah, when I
But
upload the video to Rumble, I'm obviously going to cut that part out. But for now, it is what it is. I'm glad to be back doing what we do.
glad to be talking. Like we'll actually like have like we used to, where we'll just sit down and start talking about singular subjects. It's going to be a lot less like up in the air and all over the place with the topics here soon. We're just trying to get things built to get back in the flow. This was a trial episode to see how we could get going for the moment.
Exactly.
So, but it's to like seeing when like I guess we can break down what we go as far as how we were planning on doing these shows. Like we're gonna cover doing 5 to 6 videos a week. Probably do more like two a day. It's one live stream every couple of days, and we were doing like we'll break down news and stuff through. We'll do 1 or 2 days a week where we just talk about culture, like as far as like our takes on movies and new games and things of that nature. Because like whether we like to admit it or not, well, at least it's a big part of my life. I love certain games. At least like I'm waiting for MK1. Like my homeboy's getting it, and we're gonna be playing that a lot here soon. And like of course, like I'll go out of my way to see every Dragon Ball Z movie. That's about the only thing that's not written like complete ass nowadays.
Yeah, pretty much.
And we're gonna do at least 1 or 2 days where it's just like culture. We're gonna shoot the shit, and we might even like at some get like more equipment. We start bringing in some money. We might do a night where like we'll sit there and we'll start, and y'all can join in on that, and we'll like play video games, something like that. Or of course, if we do Discord, we'll of course, premium members on Discord will be able to join in on our calls. Like to be honest, that's anyone like as no bullshit. Donate $1, you can come on for 10, 20, 30 minutes. Oh,
yeah, we'd be glad to have people listening and debating with us.
Yeah, we have no problem like introducing people to the show. Just like, we try not to be too radical about anything on any side. Like far right neo-Nazis, just like I don't want any BLM activists really. I mean, I'll listen to what you got to say, but we'll just shut you off. We'll cut you off the channel and you won't come back on. You can hate all you want. Like, that's just how it is. Like, I don't want any kind of vitriol or bullshit like that, because now that's what's tearing everything the fuck apart. There's too much vitriol. There's too many people that just, none of us are getting along anymore. Communities aren't communities. And, like, until we can get back to a point where we can be civil and work with our neighbors and shit again, there's no way we can make this shit work. So, like, if you're willing to come on here and be productive. That's all we're asking is like be like open minded. Like we're not gonna be over here preaching religion or like AI is bullshit like that. I mean, I might have a homeboy in my tattoo artist may come on, and he's kind of a religious zealot in a way. Like he's very diehard about for Jesus, and you know his takes on things are pretty interesting sometimes. Like he gets a little ranty, but that would be perfect for the show. I might
Most
bring him
definitely.
on, and probably not this next live stream, but the one after that, I'll probably try and like we meet him from over there and him involved in with this cover.
Hell yeah, dude. That would be awesome.
I
I'd
mean,
love to have him on.
the way I look at it is like I said, anybody's welcome to espouse your views. Just try to be as sober as you can. We care about like smoking a little bit of weed here and there. We don't care about if you drink like partaking activities. We prefer the camera.
See, that right there is where me and you differ. You're the weed smoker. I'm the drinker. You know,
Yeah.
I fully 100% completely support the legalization of marijuana on a recreational level because, in my opinion, it's none of the government's business what we put in our bodies. You know, if we want to put it in there at the expense or benefit of our own health, then so be it.
Exactly, and like I look at it but I look at alcohol kind of the same way, except I do like limitations put on both. Like, and the government has the right to be regulations. Like, you shouldn't be allowed to drink or smoke under a certain age, and you shouldn't be allowed to like get stupid high or stupid drunk that you can. Like, I don't think anybody should really be smoking at work or drinking at work. Like, I think these things are bad fucking habits, and like. If you can't make it through an 8-hour work shift without getting fucking blitzed, then there's something wrong with you. If you can't make it through an 8-hour shift without drinking, and I get it, the work world is miserable. I quit my job recently. I had a job I was working. I tried fast food again, and it's not for me. I'm not into people. I just can't do it. Like, I can't stomach the disrespect. I don't like the mentality of this younger generation that just doesn't give a flying fuck about anything but themselves. And like,
I mean, same here. I was a store manager at a popular pizza chain up until January of this year. And I got a phone call where a customer just dog cussed me like I was the lowest piece of shit that ever lived. And I just had enough. So I quit. You know, I went back to manufacturing.
see, with me,
now
is a stay-at-home dad, but that's just because right now I'm in a transitional period in my life. I'm trying to get some things going for myself. Like I said earlier in the episode, I've got my first therapy appointment tomorrow, so I can try and deal with my depression and shit like that. And my anxiety is getting and it's to the point where I don't even like going to the grocery store. Like just around more than like one or two people at any general point in time makes me violently fucking angry, and I can't control it anymore. Like because I'm an intelligent person, like beating the shit out of people that look at me sideways as a fucking jail sentence, or like, you know, they might shoot me nowadays. Fuck, you never know. And I got 3 kids to take care of, so like I'm attempting to like better my mental health. I mean, that's a big part of why the show stopped in the last time, because my depression got so bad I just couldn't focus anymore. I didn't care about like doing the show. I didn't care about it. Hell, half the time I didn't even answer the phone when you tried to call.
right.
So like, you know, I will say we're going to do an episode on that very soon here too, because I think more people need to pay attention to like their mental health, because like Sarah was saying that like everybody in the world, but sometimes like being suicidal isn't what everyone thinks it is. Like I've explained it to my therapist. It's not that I actively go out of my way to like try or get a hold of a gun. It's like I'll subconsciously walk out in the traffic without even looking both ways. Like I'll just not eat for 4 or 5 days on end, sometimes longer. Sleep. Like it's a subconscious urge of like, it's almost like you don't care if you wake up tomorrow and you're not going to do anything beneficial to like wake up tomorrow. You know what I mean?
Right. But at least you're being open about it, you know?
Yeah. So I'm going to do that. And of course, like, I'm going to do some schooling shit. Like there's multiple levels to what I'm trying to do with myself. Cause like I've got to take care of, and like, it's not easy.
No, it's
Because
not.
I'm unemployed right now and I time job, but like I can't fucking deal with the people. I make it like a month and then I just can't stomach it anymore and I fucking quit because like I refuse to go somewhere if I'm unappreciated. Like I'm too old for that shit. I'm 35. I'm not gonna be treated like shit. I'm not gonna have you devalue me. Like I'll work my ass off. I mean, you remember when I worked from to the point where I had a fucking heat stroke and that took everything from me. But like, you know what I mean? I have no problem like putting my body and my health and everything on the line, but you best damn make sure that I feel like it's worth it and that you respect what I'm doing and you appreciate the level of like effort I put out or I'm fucking walking. I don't care. I don't need money that much. Like people get tripped out on the fact that I can go several days without food. As long as my kids eat, I don't need money. I don't need shit. I don't fucking care. You know
Oh
what I
yeah,
mean?
same here.
And I think we're all a little bit too reliant on just these everyday common luxuries and shit. Like right now, we're tripping out because my internet keeps fucking up. I have to deal with this shit every night. Like unless my phone service is like at its optimum best quality, like you know what I mean? Like, and it drives you insane. Like I don't even until I stop and think about it, I don't realize just how mad I'm getting when the internet's not working right, or just how mad I get like when one doesn't quite work right. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like these kinds of things until you're already so pissed off that you can't even like function anymore. Like your brain's not firing properly because you've gotten that frustrated about it. Like, and I mean, really, we have an obsession with technology nowadays. It's to the point where like you can't like anything at all without some sort of phone or computer in your hand at all points in time. Like that's what I'm saying. I think everything's gonna be digital soon.
It is.
They're not. They're gonna get rid of cash currency. They're gonna put everything on digital currency because they've made it to where you can't survive without being in the digital world. Like I wouldn't be surprised if fucking Digimon come out being real soon and we all get sucked into some kind of world like that.
Yeah, I see it coming.
Like, I mean, I play Pokemon Go every day that I can. I mean, this heat wave like really fucked me up. You don't understand that I couldn't like because my phone service isn't on, so my data is like super slow. I have data on my phone right now. It's just like 2 fucking G or some shit like that right now. So like I was able to play Pokemon to an extent, but like I couldn't do any Mega Rayquaza raids today because I wasn't able to invite people because my data wouldn't run fast enough to load my friends list. So like
Right.
an entire like whole part of and like I mean it frustrates me because I don't do much with my life outside of raising my kids. Like that's a 24/7 job. Like I make sure they get to school. I try to take care of the house, like, and do other like whatever I've got to take care of during the day. Sometimes I don't, and then I make sure that like I get them from school, and then I take care of whatever I have to. And I don't really get to leave my house much. I don't have friends. I don't like to go out places. I don't go out drinking and shit. So when I leave my house, I go for walks around the town just to aimlessly walk, and that's what Pokemon gives me a reason to be able to just go for like 30-minute to an hour long walk, and just zone out and be at peace. Because I've been a Pokemon fan since it first came out. You know what I mean? Like I'm a straight up being a nerd. Like,
Right.
I'm in the anime. I'm in the fucking video games, everything but Zelda, because Zelda's just not it's not my cup of tea. But you know what I mean? Like we all have our like little things that we love doing that are our pastime hobbies that when we were younger we were told, oh, this is just so pointless and like you shouldn't waste your time on it. And now there's kids out there making billions of dollars on Twitch doing something that if we like just said, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna play video games 24/7 and stream it online 15 years ago, we'd be probably in the top tier right now.
Right.
But like us being from the generation we are, like we didn't expect, like yes, we technology, we've done it all, right? But like we didn't expect it to be where it is right now. Like I didn't expect to have a PS fucking 5 come out that's like gonna have virtual reality technology implemented with it. Like I didn't expect Pokemon Go to be on a cell phone. Like I remember like when touchscreens first, that shit was a trip. I remember 2016 when Pokemon Go first got released. Do you remember how big that shit was? How innovative technology
Hell
was?
yeah, dude.
Like, and it's only 2020 goes almost obsolete. I mean, hell, Diablo's on phones now. I mean, shit, that's one of my favorite PC games. The fact that it's on a phone and just download and play it on your phone, like that was something I never thought I'd see leave like game systems or PC. I never really thought I'd make it to game systems in general, and then game systems became strong enough to run what back in the day. The only way you could play some of these highly with these extreme graphics games was to have a computer, and it had to be a damn good computer, and you had to upgrade it like every 6 months if you wanted to play the newest World of Warcraft edition and shit. You know what I mean?
Right. Speaking of which, that's something else we're going to get into on the channel.
What, World of Warcraft? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have used that word.
No, just video games in general. Like we're going to do some video game live streams while we talk about the New World Order and stuff that's going
You
on.
definitely beat that word whenever we put this on Rumble. Good. Well,
Right.
Rumble really doesn't care. We should find a way to beep it on YouTube. Those bastards. Anyway,
What word?
We're not. I don't want to get us even more demonetized than the many fucks and shits that have already gotten us demonetized at this point. Welcome back to our channel. We don't get paid because I have a mouth like a drunken fucking sailor.
But yeah, we're definitely going to do some gaming live streams. If anybody wants to jump on the gaming live streams with us, we'll invite you on and you can talk with us about things that's going on and all that while we game.
Way down the future, because first I have a gaming system or a PC of some sort in myself, and then I have to get some things locked down. Like right now, I'm literally doing this as fucking basic bones as we can from my cell phone right now. Like I have the moment, so like it's gonna be a ways down, but this is one reason we're doing the live stream again. We're gonna try like everything right now until I can either one, this channel starts picking up and we can get something coming off of it. Like even if it's just like y'all force us to make a disc on and y'all want to just do the YouTube like membership or pay $1 a month, I don't fucking care. Like everything's helps us. We're not greedy people. We're not trying to make it into we want the golden plaque for YouTube or platinum plaques or any of that bullshit. Like if we get it, cool. If not, fuck them. I don't want to be a YouTube star. I talk about it. And if we can somewhat make this into a career and become more professional as time goes by, then I'm all for it. Because I've been discussed, like I may try and go to college and like learn some journalism shit and like.
Honestly, I might start us a Discord tomorrow and get you to share the link around Facebook, like get you to join some like underground media sites and stuff and spread the link around.
Do we even have any viewers on this at all? Has anyone?
I haven't really looked, to be honest.
And I know that like y'all expecting us to be on, it's been 3 years, but we're definitely back. Like I said, any help we can get, we're trying to get there so that we can hurry up and do this bigger and better and get, I said we were breaking down stuff and I guess, and we want to talk to some of these politicians and some of these bigger YouTube celebrities and journalists and people like that. And like, we want to know how they think and where they're getting their information. And we want to understand why they have the standpoints they have. It's all about knowledge. But anyway, I guess I'm gonna cut this off here and sign off because I gotta go to bed, get my son up for work tomorrow.
Yeah, bro. Same here. I got to get up at like 4:30 to get ready for work. So I think this would be a good time.
Yeah,
to go
that's a good stopping point for tonight's episode. We'll probably, like I said, we'll probably be doing another live stream in the next day or so. Maybe tomorrow during the day if you're down. Well, you got the vid right now, so.
Yeah, most definitely, bro.
We can do it a live stream tomorrow. My son's got school, so I'll be right. Shit, we can do a morning live stream. Say 10 or 11 o'clock.
I'll be at work at that point. I get off work at 4:30. So
why the fuck are you going to work with the vid, sir?
I'm going to
make sure everyone else gets the vid.
Yeah,
They're going to work still with the vid.
Shit. Just make sure you cough on everybody. That way y'all get some time off.
To wipe your boss's forehead.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate anyone that tunes into this later on, and we will catch y'all on the next episode.
most definitely.
All